Hello everyone, it's me Sarah. Welcome to my channel, A Curious Cuttlefish. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a little octopus. So for today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to make a little baby octopus. And if you see, I have a couple of them back here. Here's my little... They do vary in size. So today's tutorial will be to make this little guy. Isn't he cute? I will be showing you how to make him. This is my first tutorial, so I'm still working out a few kinks. So please be patient with me with that, and I hope that you enjoy making a baby octopus. So let me take you over to the table where I will be doing the tutorial, and I will walk you through the materials that you will need for this project. So for this project, I am using a 4mm crochet hook. I will put on there the US size because I go by millimeters. I am also using 16 grams of yarn. I will have the yardage and meters on there. I have a yarn needle. You will also need scissors to cut off once you are done making your project, and you will need some stuffing to fill up your octopus with some fiber of some sort. Also, safety eyes. I use safety eyes if you're making this project for a child or as a centerpiece for a levy, which I do all the time. You do not need the safety eyes. I recommend that you sew eyes on using some yarn so that the child cannot pull off the safety eyes. And that is all the supplies that you need for this project. Now let me take you over to my workspace and I will start you off on this pattern.
Alright everybody, so we have our yarn here and I have my hook. To make our octopus, I usually start by doing a magic ring. If you're unfamiliar with this, you can just follow along, and if you're not comfortable with the magic ring, you can start with a chain 3 and slip stitch to the first stitch to start. But for the magic ring, what you do is you are going to take this loop, bring the end, hold it in your right hand, you're going to bring it around and on top of the yarn in your left hand. So now it crosses over like this. I then put my hook through from the back to the front. Right, then I am going to loop. Oops, sorry. Still trying to figure out how to do this. I'm going to loop this from the back around to the front of my hook and pull it through. So I want to make sure that this tail right here still stays inside, so it's sort of like a knot. Sorry if my hands are blocking this. But now you have a loop on your hook, and I do one chain, oh my goodness, to secure this. Like so. So if you can see it now, let's see if I can focus in on this a little better. Right there. So if you can see it now, I have somewhat of a knot right here, and that was from the chain 1. And that is how you start a magic ring. Alright, then from here we have our magic ring. We are going to do 6 single crochets into this loop. So single crochet, we're going to put our hook into this loop, pull a loop through, pull a loop through. That's 1 single crochet. Let's do another one. There's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 6 single crochets on this loop. And what I do, we can count them here. Let me pull out my hook so I can show you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's turning a little, 5, 6 stitches. So let me put my hook back in, and because this is on a magic ring, all you have to do is pull your tail tight, and it will tighten this up so that there won't be a hole. So now everything's all tight. Now we just have to find our first single crochet, just this one right here. And I'm going to stick my needle right in there, and I'm going to do a yarn over and pull a loop through all these loops to create a slip stitch. So this is our start. We have 6 single crochets around. Okay, now I apologize if this yarn is a little hard to see. Do my best to make sure my camera is focused on here for you. Alright, so now we will chain 1, and into this first stitch where we did the slip stitch, we will be doing 2 single crochets. So there's 1, 2. So we have 2 single crochets in that one. And in every stitch around for this is row 2, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets into each stitch. So since we started off with 6 stitches, we should have 12 stitches at the end of row 2. So we have 2. Let's do 2 into this next one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so now that we have 12 single crochets around, you want to do a slip stitch into your first stitch. If you are not sure which of these 2 are your first stitch, what I do is I count backwards, or count around, starting from the stitch that you just made, to make sure that you do it into the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that really tiny one right here is our first stitch. We will do a slip stitch here. Alright, so now we have a little circle. The tail, I try to keep it coming out towards you because that will be the inside of your octopus. This will be the outside. I have to move my phone. Alright, so we have 12 stitches around. So we're going to do another increase. Pull out a little more yarn here. So for this is round 3. We are going to do, to start off always, we're going to chain 1. We're going to do 1 single crochet into that first space. And then in the next stitch, we will do 2 single crochets. And we repeat this pattern all the way around. So we have 3 stitches here. We started off with 12. We are doing an increase at every second stitch. We should end this round with 18 stitches. So we did our first 3. We're going to do single crochet in this one. So this will be 4. 2 single crochets in the next one. 5, 6, 1 single crochet, 7, 2 single crochets, 8, 9, 1 single crochet, 10, 2 single crochets, 11, 12, 1, be 13, 2, 14, 15, 1, 16, 2, 17, 18. So now we have 18 single crochets all the way around. We are going to slip stitch into this first stitch. Just need to get my hook in there. Slip stitch. Alright, so here we have 18 stitches around. That is the end of row 3. Moving on to row 4. Row 4, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to do single crochet, 2 single crochets. And this one, we should have 24 stitches at the end of the row. So, oops, to that first one, we'll do 1 single crochet in this one. That's 2 single crochets in the next. 3, 4. Single crochet, single crochet, 2 single crochets. So that's 8 stitches, and you're going to follow this pattern all the way to the end of this row. I'm going to keep it going so you guys can see. So that's 8, 9, 10, 2 in this one, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 in the next, 15, 16, singles, 17, 18, and 2, 19, 20, single, 21, single, 22, and then 2 in this last one, 23, 24. So As always, we slip stitch into your first stitch. We have 24 stitches. I am going to pull a little more yarn out of my cake. So we have 24 stitches. I am going to chain 1 after slip stitching into the first stitch. We're ready to start the next row. So if you are kind of seeing the pattern here, this next row we are going to do in the first stitch single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the following stitch. So let us do that for this next row. So the first stitch is a single crochet. We should have 30 stitches at the end of this row. So 1 single, 2 singles, 3 singles, and then 2 in the next one. 4, 5. All right, 3 singles and then 2 in the next. So 6, 7, 8, 2 in this one, 9, 10 singles, 11, 12, 13, and then 2 in the next one, 14, 15, 3 singles, 16, 17, 18, 2 in the next, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 2 in the next, 24, 25, so 25, 3 more singles, 26, 27, 28, and this last one we're going to put 2. 29, 30. So there we have 30. We are going to slip stitch into that first stitch. There you have, that is row 5. So if you see, this is more of a circle now. And what I am doing, I'm going to show you my yarn cake here, is I am going to go and keep increasing until I'm probably about here, this color in my cake. Whenever I do my octopus pattern, I adjust it to the amount of scrap I have left over from other projects. So you can make your octopus as big or as small as you like. I'm going to do another row of increases and then we will straighten out. So another row of increases means we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 4 single crochets, and then in the 5th we're going to do 2 single crochets, which means we should have 36 stitches by the end of this row. So let's do our first one as a single crochet, another single crochet, another single crochet, another single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in this one. So if you count around your rows like I do, I just know that the last one is always going to have 2 stitches in it, and this will be a multiple of 6. So we have 6 stitches. Let's continue. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 in the next one, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 2 in the next one, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 2 in this one, 23, 24, okay, 25, 26, 27, 28, 2 in this one, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 2 into that last one. More, 35, 36, and then as always we will slip stitch into our first stitch. So now we have 36 stitches around, and as you can see, our project's getting bigger. So I still haven't hit that blue section, so we are going to do another row of increases. So that one was a multiple of 6, this next one's going to be a multiple of 7, which means we should hit 42 stitches around. So chain 1, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and 2 single crochets. So you will have 5 by themselves, and then you will put 2 in the 6th. So that should give you 7 stitches. So we have 7, and we're going to continue with this pattern around. So that's 7, so I know it's in multiples of 7. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 in the next, 13, 14, okay, 15, 16, 17, 18, oh, not that one, 19, 2 in the next, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 2 in the next one, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 2 in the next one, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and 2 in this last one, 41, 42. Okay, slip stitch into your first stitch. We have 42 stitches around, and I think this will be a decent sized octopus. So from here, we are going to straighten him out. So this has all been increases. So this is making your octopus larger and larger. He is still a small octopus, I will say. The materials needed for this was not much yarn, but you will get a nice little baby octopus out of it. So, 42 stitches around. What we are going to do now is we are going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So this will be our first row of straight. So you're going to chain 1, and now in each stitch you are going to do a single crochet. And it should be noted that your chain 1 is not counted as a stitch. So you want to make sure that you're putting your first single crochet into that same stitch that you joined in. So we're just going to go around and single crochet in each one for this row. And if you want to, you can count your stitches in each row as you crochet around to make sure that you are still keeping the same number of stitches. You don't want to be increasing or decreasing. You want it to remain the same for this portion of your octopus. Alright, we are almost all the way around. And I do recommend that you keep your tension a little tighter when you're making this. That will keep all of your stuffing inside of your octopus. So, alright, we are getting closer, almost there. Trying not to go too fast so you guys can still see what I'm doing. Okay, so now this is the last stitch. Single crochet, and now as usual we are going to slip stitch into that first stitch. So that was our first row of a straight single crochet, no increases or decreases all the way around. What we're going to do is we are going to repeat this row 6 more times. So you want 6 more rows of single crochet all the way around, no increases and no decreases. I am going to, you can pause the video here, do those 6 rows of single crochets, and then come back and I will show you where we're at then. Okay, so we did our 6 more rows of single crochet, so your octopus should be looking like this now. So for this next row, we're going to be doing a decrease. What we're going to be starting with, as usual, we'll do our chain 1. We are going to single crochet, 1, single crochet, 2, single crochet, 3, single crochet, 4, single crochet, 5. And then in these next 2, we are going to do a decrease. So how you do a decrease is you are going to stick your needle into your hook. Stick your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, and instead of doing like your single crochet and pulling through both loops, we are going to insert our hook into the next stitch. So insert your hook into the following stitch, yarn over, pull through. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That is a single crochet decrease. So we should have 6 stitches because we did a decrease. So we're going to follow this pattern all the way around. We are going to single crochet 5 and then do a single crochet decrease. Let me do it again with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a decrease. Put your hook in this stitch, pull a loop through, the following stitch, pull a loop through, and then pull through the 3 loops. That is a decrease. We're going to finish doing this for the rest of this round, and I will come back. Okay, so I did the decrease all the way around. This is where we are now. So we're going to do 4 rows of single crochet all the way around. So I'll start off. As usual, we're going to chain 1 and then a single crochet in each stitch. We are going to do 4 rows of this. So you can get started on that, and I will come back and show you what it looks like after those 4 rows of single crochet around. Alright, so we just finished those 4 rows of single crochet, so this should be the shape that you are getting. Alright, so this next row we are going to be putting in the legs for our octopus. Let's see if I can get this focused. Okay, so for this row, like all the other rows, to start we are going to chain 1, which I have right here. And then we are going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, and then we're going to do in the second chain from the hook, not the first one, the second one, we're going to do 3 single crochets into that chain space. So 1, 2, 3. There's 3 single crochets in that one chain space. Then in the next chain space, that next stitch right here, we are going to do another 3 single crochets, all into that same spot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next chain we're also going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. In this next chain we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So we did 3 single crochets into the first 4 chains. We have 2 chains left. So this next chain will just get 2 single crochets into that space. 1, 2. And this last one, we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1, 2. So if you look here, we have a nice tight curl at the end of the leg, and it's not quite as tight at the very back, which is what we want. So now we're back. You see right here we had our last single crochet stitch. So in that next one we're now going to do a single crochet. So we have our first leg done, and now we need, that was 1, we need 3 more, so we have 4 single crochets. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. So now altogether we have 4 single crochets after this leg that we just put in right here. So there's the leg. We have 4 single crochets between this leg. So now we can put our next leg in. Just like the first one, we are going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same as the leg before, we are going to do 3 single crochets into the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 in the next one. 1, 2. 3. 3 in the next one. 1, 2, 3. 3 in the next one. 1, 2, 3. And again, we're down to our last 2 chains. We're going to put 2 single crochets into each of these last 2. 1, 2, and last one. Oops, sorry, phone in the background. 1, 2. Pause this. Okay, sorry about the phone in the background. All right, so we just finished our second leg, and we are basically going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we have 8 legs, and I will come back on and show you how to finish this row. Remember, now that we finished the second leg, we are going to do another 4 single crochets in the next 4 stitches here. So I'll just start you there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we will add another leg right here. So let me finish adding another 6 legs so that we have 8, and then I'll show you how to finish this row. Okay, so I just finished up the 8th leg right here. So there's the last leg, and here is what we have left of our row. So we are just going to do a single crochet right here. Let's pull through both loops. Okay, so 1, let's do another single crochet, 2, single crochet, 3, and 4. So now we can slip stitch into the first single crochet. Alright, so right here, now you can see there's a larger gap between the legs right here than there is for the rest around. And I feel like this works out very well to make this the front of your octopus. So what I would recommend is at this point, take your 2 safety eyes. It should be noted, if you are giving this to a child, it's better to just sew in your eyes with a piece of yarn. But I use safety eyes. So I just decide where on here I would like them to go. Let's see, I'll put one right there. Try to line them up. Nope, it's a little crooked. Let's move this one down a little. There we go. So once you put your safety eyes in where you want them, let's see, I turn this inside out. So as you see, these safety eyes, they have backings to them. So here's a backing, and all you do is you line it up here, and you have to press down, and it takes a bit of pressure until it clicks into place. There. So now that one's in. So now I just have to put the backing on this one. And I'm sure there's got to be a better way of doing this, but usually I use it on the table. Since I'm trying to show you guys, it's taking me a little bit more work. So there, the backings are on. I put his eyes a little low. You could probably put them a little higher than that, but he's just gonna have low sitting eyes. So here's a little octopus. We are now going to start decreasing. So let's put our hook back in. And what we're going to do, we're going to chain one. Let's see, single crochet. So 4 times 9 is 36. We have 36 stitches. So we are going to do 4 and then a decrease. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now here it gets a little tricky because remember right here we did a chain 7 to make this leg. We are going to ignore all this part where this leg is. And we have to look for these 4 stitches that are between each leg, and those are the stitches that we are working into, not the stitches that form the leg here. So ignoring the leg, here are the 4 stitches that were worked. So we did 4. We are going to decrease, a single crochet decrease. So here's the first stitch. We're going to pull up a loop. Let's go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. So there's a decrease. And now again, we are going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, we are at the next leg. We have to skip that leg and look for our 4 stitches that are between each leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the next stitch. Let's see, you need to get through both loops. There we go. There's 3, 4, and now we're going to do a decrease. So pull through, go through the next, pull through, decrease. Okay, we're going to skip over this leg, go over into our next 4 stitches. So we have 4, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now we are going to do a decrease in these, skipping over the leg, these 2, so pull through, there's the decrease. Okay, so we are going to continue this pattern all the way around, and I will show you guys when I get to the end of the row and I join right where the eyes for my octopus are. Okay, so I just came to the end of that row. We are going to do another decrease row. So we did a slip stitch into the last stitch. We are going to chain 1, and into that stitch, that first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, another single crochet into the next stitch, another single crochet into the next stitch, and then we are going to do a decrease. So we're going to pull through 1 stitch, pull through the stitch after that, and pull through all 3 loops. There's our decrease. So it's going to be single crochet 3 and then a decrease. So we'll do our 3. Oops. Make sure that you do not go into the stitch that you just decreased in. So the following stitch after this one. So we will do 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and now we will do a decrease. There's a decrease. And continue this pattern all the way around. 3 single crochets. And I think I went too low with that one. Yeah, 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then we will do a decrease. Alright, so you'll continue this until you get back to the side with your octopus's eyes. Okay, so I finished up that row. So as you can see, it's now getting smaller and smaller. We ended with a decrease and then slip stitch to the first stitch. So usually what I do at this point, he's getting a little flat, so we're gonna put our stuffing into the octopus. So here's that stuffing I had. You'd be amazed how much fits into these things. Just gonna stuff it full. Put all of that in there. So now he has more shape. There he is. And as you can see, if you want the shape to hold a lot firmer, put more stuffing in. If you don't mind that, you can kind of play with and melt them, and almost like a stress relief ball. But an octopus, you don't have to put as much stuffing in there, and you can just kind of squeeze him a bit. But so I put the stuffing in this step. So now we have the stuffing in there, and I know that this can be kind of hard to work with once the stuffing is in, but I find it easier to put it in now before the hole gets really small, and then it's hard to get a lot in there. So now we can continue on with our next row. Grab our hook. So we are just going to continue our decreases. So that last one was 3 before decrease, so we're going to chain 1, and this one we're going to do 2. So 1, 2, and then we will do a decrease. There's a decrease. So again, make sure it's not a stitch that you've worked in. 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then a decrease. And we shall continue around 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then a decrease. And so as you work around, it's going to be getting smaller and smaller. There will be less and less stitches. Did I just do a decrease? I don't know. Let's pull that up. Let's see. I just did a decrease. I need to do 2 single crochets. See, even I can get confused. There's my 2 single crochets. Now I can do my decrease. Alright, And we shall just continue this until the end of the row, and then you slip stitch into your first stitch. Okay, so I finished that row, and we're just going to continue on with this pattern that we're using for the decreases. So as it gets smaller, it does get harder and harder to see and work with. So I will try to show you to the best of my ability. But again, we are going to chain 1. And so now for this row, we are going to do a single crochet and then a decrease. So single crochet and then a decrease. Did I say chain 1? You chain 1 at the beginning of each row. Single crochet and then a decrease. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and decrease. So we will just keep doing this pattern until the end of the row, and then I will show you how we finish this guy up. There's only one more row to go. Okay, so we finished with a slip stitch into the first stitch, and this is the last row we're going to do, and then we can sew him up and weave in ends. So again, we are going to do a chain 1, and now every stitch is going to be a decrease, which can get a little, as he gets smaller, this just gets a little harder, so you know, you do your best. So we're just going to decrease all the way around. Okay, and then I might have gone a little too far. Not sure. Let's see, where did this row start? Right here. So then you're going to join. And what I do is I like to leave, let's say, 6 inches for the tail. Then I'm going to cut that. And what we do here is we're going to pull the tail through your final loop on here. So we're going to pull the tail through, pull it tight, and if you can see, there's still a hole here. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew that up. So this is where we get out our needle. And let me just thread this through. Sorry if you hear Rocco in the background, guys. He's right by my foot. Okay, so now we're just going to sew this shut. So I'll just go over and through it a few times. Let's not catch his little legs in there. Oops. Okay. Just to make sure that it is all good and closed so none of the stuffing will come out. Alright, and so now that he's closed up, we are just going to weave in our ends. So I'm sure there's a method to this, but I just try to get it through quite a few stitches, going all different directions so that it will not come out. And then once I feel that it has been woven in plenty, like now, what I do is I pull my yarn out like this, and I want to leave the yarn inside this octopus, so I just stick my needle right through here. I'm gonna poke it out some part up here, pull it through, and now that it's in, I'm just gonna pull this a little bit out, just a tad, so I can snip it right close to where it is. Okay, so I snipped off that part. Then when I fluff him up a bit, the little tail disappears. And now we have our little baby octopus. He's all closed up on the bottom, the ends are woven in, and there he is. He didn't use up that much yarn. I actually, from the supply list, I still have a little bit left over, but there he is. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope you enjoy making this mini project that uses up your scrap yarns very well.